Welcome to another episode of Inappropriate, Earl. This is really going to be a great episode. It's going to be an interesting one. We have a very special friend of the show. She's a girl that I have a long and illustrious history with. She's a beautiful comic, a beautiful bartender, and just a beautiful person overall. So, guys and girls out there in podcast land, put your hands together for the one, the only, Gail Gramlich.
Woo!
Gail,
Gramlich.
Gail Gramlich, ggcomedy.com.
Oh my God, that's like an old strip mall, like MySpace now.
Is that still your website?
Yeah, but you know, I think I accidentally paid for it for one more year, but I'm just not doing anything to it because I don't know what websites are just. That's if you have like something that you want to put on there, and there are times that I will. It's just not right now.
Well, you've got a lot of funny videos
Yeah.
out.
But I have places where you can go see them, you know? I'm like, hey, go on YouTube, go here, go there. The more places they go, the more they will see. You know, if you just say go to ggcomedy.com, something I don't ever play with or work on or anything, then it's not a good place to go.
The weirdest thing is when I put my name on YouTube, Earl Skakel, your videos pop up.
That's
too.
awesome. See?
Yeah.
See how that works? Go to YouTube. Go to see Earl, and you'll still see Gail. Wee. I mean, more Earl, of course, because.
Check out Gail Gramlich, Gramlich. She's on top of the world.
Oh, yeah.
She's a very funny comedian.
Can we talk about the fact that I lived here? Because I thought you were going to go into that, and I know that's totally. Am I doing the thing that you're not supposed to do on podcasts is interrupt while you're talking? I broke the rule again, right?
Oh, not necessarily. I mean, usually when you do a podcast, the person whose podcast it is will dictate the pace of the show. But hey,
we have an illustrious history.
We have a great history. We're going to get into that.
Yeah, I know.
What I wanted to do first was just kind of get your background.
Okay.
I thought of you today because I saw Pink is singing,
Oh, yeah.
I think, at the Oscars. And you and Pink are from the same hometown, correct?
Hometown, from Doylestown, Pennsylvania. She is a few years younger than me and used to hang out with a lot of my friends' younger brothers and sisters. So I always saw her around, but I never got to know her. I met her once at my friend Sherry's house. She was hanging out with her sister, and she was like back from being down south. Singing was like the first record situation she got into when she was a teenager, and she was just home for a little while, and all the girls in the house were like, she's gonna be a singer, and all I said to her was, so you're gonna be a singer? And she's like, yeah, like all bitchy. And that's cool. At the time, I was like, ew, what a bitch. But then like 2 years later, Misunderstood came out. And I listened to it only because I wanted to see what the girl from Doylestown could do. And I actually loved it. And I was like, I don't care if she was mean to me that one time. Her music's awesome. So I dig Pink. Was that a long story?
Yeah, but that's what you... Can I ask you a quick favor, though? Seriously.
Okay.
We're off to a good start. Could you start that story from the beginning?
Well,
so you and Pink are from the same. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But that's what you want on a podcast is a long story.
Yeah,
I mean,
fun stories.
Ideally, the host should ask you a question and then just let you ramble.
Oh, okay. That's wonderful.
And you're a fantastic rambler.
Thank you.
I mean, you put the ramble and rambling.
Ramble, yeah. Ramble.
So you're from Doylestown, Bucks County.
Yes, Bucks County.
And at what point did you think, I want to move to either New York? Because you wanted to move to either New York or Los Angeles, right?
Yeah. Yes, I did. I was in bartending school, and there was this girl who was moving up to New York, and I was like, I'd rather live in New York and do this comedy thing. But when I went there, her little room was so small, and she paid $1,200 to live there, and it was like not even New York, it was Jersey City, and it was smelly. Not that Jersey City's smelly, it's just there's smelly areas, because I'd always have to travel through Jersey City to get to my grandmother's house, who lives in Jersey, so sometimes I just didn't want to live there. It just seemed like not for me, cold and crampy, and then my girlfriend Karen was moving to Los Angeles, and she's like, just come with me because you want to go now, right? Let's just go and just get started. And so since she was going and I needed a roommate and I just wanted to go, I just went. And my mom's like, you know, you can always come back. And I figured I would. I'm like, I'll just go there and then I'll come back and figure stuff out. Not that I would come back and figure it out on the East Coast is what I mean. Not like I would just go out for a little bit and give up. I knew I wanted to do comedy. I knew I wanted to be in the comedy business. But when I did the New York thing, I visited a few times and it just wasn't for me. So I just went with Karen. And I never went back. I mean, I go back in the summer to Pennsylvania to see my family, and also Christmas time. Yes, you do.
I love
and
your
they love
family. You. Your mom Eileen,
yes.
your dad
Jim,
yeah. Your brother Jim,
mm-hmm.
your sister. Anyway, we'll get Jen.
Yeah, Jennifer.
Great family.
Yes.
Kind of like my second family on earth.
Yes.
And I really looked forward to those Doylestown trips because Doylestown is it's a very interesting. It's like Mayberry.
No, it's suburbia with farms and families and farms and just all your typical teenage angst stuff going on too. Like, I don't know. There's
I love it.
Teenagers everywhere. What else? Farms. Yeah.
Cows. But like the bar that you used to take.
Churches, roads, ponds, fishes.
The berry fields.
Yeah, berries. I think my red berries. This is. I feel like it's getting boring.
No, it's not.
Oh, is it? Okay, it's good.
Here's the deal.
And I'm not supposed to admit that it's boring. I just was like, I was about to talk about my berry picking and how much I love to pick berries. And I think the berries that I've been picking since I was a kid are like going out of. They're going extinct. They're not extinct. They're just dying out.
Just so you know, Gail, this is not a comedy show.
I know it's not.
No, so don't. We're not trying to get laughs. Hopefully, I want people to learn about you.
Oh, it's lovely.
We'll get into the comedy and the bartending and us and Lois.
Bubbers.
Bubbers. We have a dog right now sitting in between us.
Bubbers.
Lois. And so, okay, when do you move from Doylestown to L.A.?
10 years ago, October 5th. October 5th, 10 years ago.
And that's crazy. Like, you've made it to me. I mean, anyone who has, you moved out here with virtually knowing nobody, no money. No. I mean, virtually no money. And you're still out here. A lot of people would have left. I would have left after 2 months. I would have said, I can't take this. Yeah.
No, I really wanted to bartend right away because, that's what I do. I mean, I also looked for other regular jobs because I went to college. I had a college degree.
From Temple?
Yeah, from Temple. And so it was either bartending or that, but bartending is a good survivor job. And I couldn't even get a bartending job. When I first moved out here, I got a waitressing job at Hennessy's in Manhattan Beach, which was like a, fun, like kind of party place to work, not just like everyone's just like, woo, party time, 2 shots, It would have been a good place to bartend, but I didn't. I waitressed or served. I'm a terrible server. So
yeah, but the way you look, who cares?
Yeah, I know, but when people are upset with stuff or if they're mean about it, I'm mean about it right away. Like I can't just let things. At the time, I'm probably would be better at it now, but I can't just let people's bullshit bounce off me. I'm just like, what? What did you? It's like
I never saw that side of you.
Well, it's there just because I want people to be nice because I'm nice all the time. So when people are like mean or finicky or weird, I'm just like, ew, I'm nice all the time. I can be weird and finicky with me. So at least I feel like I'm nice all the time.
Well, I would say about 80% of the time.
80, no, yeah, probably. This is the 20% now, like the PMS.
No, you're doing good.
No, PMS time is.
Oh, is it PMS?
Yeah, I worked out today, and I was really tired and really didn't feel like it, but I did this Buns of Steel video from 1991. I literally have a VCR and a VHS tape. It's like it's still a tough workout, but it's like weak too. It's like my PMS workout. And it totally had me winded today. I'm like, fuck, I'm totally PMSing. I just feel like but it really got my heart going, which was good because that's what you want to do. So I guess that's a good thing, even though before it was like cake. But at least I did it. Do you ever do that where you're just feeling a little more tired, so you just do the elliptical or whatever?
Yeah, when I have really bad diarrhea, I just... I'll just go on the elliptical.
We don't have to go work out if you have diarrhea. Just get it all out there. You have your skinny day. You don't even have to work out. That's the eating disorder way of looking at things. Not that I have one, but if you do have diarrhea, I mean, at least you're having a skinny day for the most part, right?
Yeah, and also, if you do have diarrhea, wear brown shorts. Just
Of course.
yeah, I mean.
And have a couple pairs with you, too.
Well, I mean, diarrhea.
You never know if it's going to
come out.
I mean, I haven't experienced this, Well, I mean, I guess I have, but not like where I'd have to wear I never had to wear brown shorts.
Well, I mean, but you are right, though. Whenever I've had diarrhea, like really bad diarrhea, and after you blow it all out, you feel shredded. Out. You don't even have to do sit-ups anymore.
No.
I mean, you're just all...
Just good.
To here at the Inappropriate Earlcast, we give fitness tips.
Yes.
So let's get into how you and I met.
Okay.
Well, first of all, let's backtrack.
Okay.
When did you start doing comedy out here?
I started doing comedy a year and a half after I got out here. And I worked at the Liquid Zoo in Van Nuys, which is, not to be mean, but, it's just one of those divey bar, shithole bars in Van Nuys. But those are the best bars to work if you want to, like, have a little bit of freedom and wear what you want and not have someone breathing down your neck because they, owners usually go home at a certain time, just let you work in peace, usually. Anyway, I worked there, and I was like, I'm going to start an open mic here because I want to get to know the scene, and I want to get to know them fast. So I went to the Guitar Center and took a card out and bought a PA system for $350 with a little mic stand, microphones, and all the speakers and everything. And I started an open mic there. But 2 weeks before I started my open mic, I saw you rocking it at the, what was that, Monday night?
Ireland's 32.
I always forget the name. Ireland's 32, and you were rocking it. And then you showed up at my open mic 2 weeks later, and I was like, oh, my God, there's that guy. And I ran over to you and said, oh, my God, like, are you going to go up? It's you. Like, you're here. And then you were with Shelly, and I was with somebody, Tommy, I guess, for a little while. And we were in other relationships, but we were friends for like a year.
Yeah.
But
I mean, and the only reason, it was fate that we came together, because the only reason I went to the Liquid Zoo that night wasn't for the comedy. I mean, but my friend, well, I won't say his name because maybe he doesn't want this story out. He was almost got into a fist fight with a female comic the week before.
Yeah.
And it got real heated between the two. They almost came to blows.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, I got to check this place out. Because I love, you know me.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know me listening, I love watching violence. Whether it's the UFC, pro wrestling, but live violence, I just love. I get like a sexual high off of it.
Yeah.
I'm not fighting. I just love watching.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, this place sounds like this could happen again. So I remember walking in, kind of taking a look around, and the Liquid Zoo kind of, for me, the only way to describe it is it's kind of like the bar in Star Wars. You literally have every unsavory character in the valley, every drunk, dope-dealing, hookers. And when I say hookers...
Pimps.
When me and Gail
Everything.
say hookers, I don't mean like Julia Roberts hookers. I mean
$30 girls who give blowjobs in the parking lot.
And you could probably get 25 back in change. I mean, these girls look disgusting. And, so this isn't a high-class clientele.
And of course it's not like that now. There's no hookers now or anything like that now.
Yeah. I'll take bullshit for 500.
Yeah.
But it's a charming
Yes.
bar. I mean, and I remember looking over to my left as soon as I walked in, seeing you, going, wow, that's not what I came here for, but yeah. and then you came up to me, and I had to play it cool.
Yeah. It's cool. Just rocking and rolling and whatnot.
Usually pretty girls don't come up to me like as aggressively as you did.
Yeah.
And then I think I left without saying goodbye that night.
Yeah, well, you always used to do that. I think that's a Virgo thing, too.
But
You know,
that's
they like to dip out. You know.
Yeah. I still dip out.
Yeah.
You know, wherever I'm at. I
'Cause
just.
if you don't, people interrupt you. Like, hey, where you going? And you're not leaving.
Yeah,
All
and
of a
then-
sudden, you're just like bullshitting,
And I don't.
which is fine.
Yeah. No, I just like to. I don't like to say the same goodbye to 50 people. I just rather not say goodbye to anybody.
Yeah.
And you'll see them again if they mean something to you. So
2 and 2 equals 4.
and then what is this romper room? We giving math?
No, that's the way your voicemail is on the phone. Like, hey, if I don't get back to you, 2 and 2 does equal 4.
Yeah, suck it. And then I think the second time we met, if my memory serves me, was we used to do this real shithole, the Sportsman's Lodge.
Oh my god.
And you were it's a comedy room that had in an outdoor patio, so it was god awful.
Freezing.
But you would see some
Terrible.
great comics go there, like
Yeah.
Whitney Cummings was there, and like Billy Gardell. So you saw like,
Yeah, he used to go to Michael's Pub too.
Oh,
That's
he was a
another
grinder.
one. He was great.
and now he's on the #1
Yeah.
sitcom on the air. So it's it's literally like the comedy version of Mr. T in Rocky 3, doing the one-arm pull-ups in the dark, dingy basement, just waiting for his shot. And I think Billy has gotten his shot.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for mine. But
And he was waiting on a radio thing too.
he
I
almost
think.
left. I
Yeah.
mean, he was supposed to do a radio gig, and he was going to move back to Pittsburgh because, he's like literally the. Did I ever tell you, Gail, the story about the guy digging for gold?
Well, one day he stopped, and then this next guy came along, and he found the gold.
Right. So, yeah.
You used to always say that when I would
When you would get
down,
discouraged.
Get discouraged about stuff like, I hate the way comedy makes me feel.
It's a tough fucking business.
Yeah, it is.
And in some ways it's tougher for a female. In some ways
Ah.
it's tougher for a man.
Yeah.
Because you get the gay agents and managers, and
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like it is for you. A lot of guys saying what
Not
they can do.
bullshitters,
A lot of guys saying what they can do for you, and they can't do anything for
Yeah.
you, and they're just trying to sleep with you or whatever.
Oh my god,
It's gross.
I hate the bullshitters.
But getting back to how, I see you at the Sportsman's Lodge, and you had this black trench coat on, and I was totally staring at you. I mean, I was like literally, ooh. And you caught me looking at you,
Yeah.
and I tried to play it cool, but I think we were starting to vibe then.
Yeah.
And then I think the next time we met was at Dante's legendary comedy show at the Canoga Bowl.
Yeah, and at that point you had hurt your knee. You had a knee surgery.
Yeah, I had I won't bore you with that, but I
Yeah.
had torn ACL, and all my ligaments in my right knee were gone.
Yeah.
So I had to limp around doing open mics, and my
But
girl.
it was good because it was like, what's going? I don't know. You always wore those big hockey jerseys, and I'm like, what I liked about it is that you work out so hard, and your body's rocking hard and everything, but you always hit it, which I thought was super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then I remember when we officially met, you came around the corner with your friend Shannon, and
Mhm.
I was around the corner with my girlfriend at the time, Shelley.
Oh yeah.
And I literally remember you stopping in your tracks because I'm like, hey, this is my girlfriend, Shelley.
And she told me all night, no, dude, I think he has a girlfriend. I'm like, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. And she's like, no, seriously? But whatever, maybe he doesn't. And you did. And when I was just like, oh, okay. I felt so stupid. She's like, see? It was funny. She's the hot 7.
Yeah, it's Shannon
I love
Hatch.
Shannon Hatch.
Very funny comic.
Yeah. I want to get her to do a show because I have enough girls, and I miss her, and I don't even know where she is. Is she like?
I haven't seen her in a while, but
Yeah.
So then
Anyway.
No,
Back to
Shannon's
us.
a great
Yeah.
woman. We'll talk about Hot
Yeah, yeah.
7. So and then we kind of started bumping into each other again,
Yeah.
and then I think after I had, I guess you'd say, broken up with Shelley, I think I asked you. I remember calling you up on a Friday, going, "What are you doing?" And you said you were sick. Apparently, you had a date that night.
I did.
That's
and
cool.
I just didn't, I was just like, I don't want to go to a date because I was like, I would have gone out with you.
Right.
I was like, I totally would have gone. That's what I would have done, but I had already committed this other thing, and so
Right. And so
that was the last date with him. But that was cool that you called up out of the blue. Hey, what's up?
yeah. Hey, what's going on tonight?
What's
You got any
going on?
rooms going on?
Rooms going on? I remember that. And that's good too. He's like, "Hey, you going up anywhere?" You know.
Well, I was really nervous because I
Oh.
really, I really knew that. I mean, obviously at that time I didn't know you were the one, but I mean, like I was like, wow, I really want to. I mean, me and Shelley had a great relationship and all that. But I just it had run its course, I guess, and there was something about you. It's just I can't put my finger on it, but and
I can't believe you just said that. But it was so funny.
I know it's inappropriate.
Oh my God, that's so.
Get it? It's
yeah,
inappropriate.
In it, on it.
Hey-o. And I have to actually give a shout out to Daniel Stewart.
Yeah.
Because she was the one who really cornered me one night at the comedy room you were running, Tempest. And she said, Earl, this is like 7 years ago, so I might not get the exact wording out, but she's like, Earl, she likes you. It's obvious you like her. You just gotta set a date and, get it together.
Yeah.
And so Danielle was still is a good friend of mine. She was the one who gave me the fortitude to ask you out. And then we started hanging.
Yeah.
And I think about 3 or 4 months of dating, then you moved in.
Yeah.
And where you humbly resided for 5.5 years.
5.5 years.
Yeah, it was good times. And
that's why today, when you live at home and you use the bathroom, you don't wash your hands after you use a bathroom in your own house, right?
Oh, I don't even wipe my ass.
But you know what I mean? Like, you don't wash your hands when you're at home. I know some people may say they do, but I don't think. You don't, right? Do you?
I mean...
you have to... No, you don't.
I mean, unless it's a real bad greaser.
Okay, yeah. Then you would, yeah.
Because I don't want dookie on my hands typing.
Right. That's true. And if you get it in your eye, you get pink eye.
Well, normally I wouldn't be rubbing my eye with shit on my fingers.
But sometimes it's microscopic. It's not like you can see it. It's just, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's just there and you don't even realize it, Like when
if it's there, I realize it. I don't mean to interrupt you, Gail.
When you eat the hard candy at the restaurant, that's like when you're walking out of the restaurant and they have candy there.
Right, the mints.
And the mints, yeah. And you know that there's excrement on those mints, and it's found all the time when scientists do their little thing that they do.
Well, I don't know what scientist is trying to find shit on mints.
Well, some do because they make great stories. At least a little while ago. I mean, everybody looks at those mints now and goes, there's probably shit on those mints. I
got to be honest with you, Gail. I don't know if they do.
I bet you there's some people out there who are like, I totally don't take the mints now because there's shit all over them.
I mean, I could understand your point of view if the mint bowl was right by the toilet.
That's...
And then maybe there might be some...
But it's in the lobby. I mean, the bathrooms, the lobby, they're very close. The mint's right in between the lobby and getting into the restaurant.
You're right. I mean, I guess if someone took a really hard shit and it hit the toilet and flew into the lobby...
It gets on their hands.
Well, listen,
It's just there.
If you, I mean, yeah, I guess it's possible.
Okay.
So, they're...
So my point is, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
It's all right,
Inappropriate, Earl. When I used the bathroom before we started, I was like, I'm not washing my hands. Like, I lived here for 5.5 years. But there's this part of me that's like, I don't live here anymore. I should wash my hands. I didn't wash my hands because I'm dirty.
Oh, and I love dirty girls.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, well, it was like when you first moved in. I mean, I remember I was like, there was trying to figure out a line to cross. Like, if I had to take a dump, I mean, like, did I go in my second bedroom? And I think, when people live together and you first start, having to take a shit or something, it's even for you. I mean,
what I like about this apartment is there's 3 bathrooms here. So wherever you were, I was not, or I was as far away as I could be.
When you had to drop a bomb or?
Yeah, I mean, I've only done it like once or twice in my life because girls don't really do that. So the one time that I did it really far away.
Well, I don't know about that. I recall a few other times. And I would love the look on your face. Like, when I would walk into a room and I would, like, the odor would hit me, you would look at me like a dog who just got caught peeing on the carpet.
Well, you would, like, see, I have walked in on your smelly, and I just pretend like it's not there, or I just, like, go out of the room or go downstairs. So when you did it, you let me know that you knew that I did it. And so that was what was shameful, because you're like, you're pointing it out. But I would just be like, okay, I know you just made smelly, but I'm not going to.
I made a smelly.
I made a smelly, but I'm not going to call attention to it. But you would, and you would walk in the bathroom and smell it, just to mess with me. And I'd be like, get out. I didn't do it. It was Lois. Lois did it.
Well, gee, Gail, Lois has been downstairs with me the whole time, so.
All right, then Bookaboom did it.
Well, that's true. Bookaboom was blind toward the
Yeah.
end. Bookaboom was our
See?
other dog. We also had another dog named Chloe who, wasn't with us for long, but I still miss her.
Yeah.
We only had her for like 4 or 5 months.
She had seizures.
She had these awful seizures, and I don't want to bring the podcast down, but
no.
Chloe was the best dog.
She's a good dog.
And now we have a great dog, Lois.
Yeah.
And, it was also interesting, me and Gail,
Gail.
Gail doesn't really like hockey
No.
and UFC. And
I can deal with it sometimes, but
yeah, I think we were pretty good in terms of letting the other, like I would let you watch your snaps.
yeah.
And which always was a little concerning with me that you would, you seem to be obsessed about a show where wives or girlfriends would kill their significant others.
I just like real stories. Sometimes the stuff happens and it wasn't supposed to happen, and other times you could tell that it's all premeditated. They wanted the money or whatever. I just like, tell me a story, and I want to see how you were found out. And I guess I like the women ones because men kill way more than women do. So to have a whole show based around women who kill is kind of interesting.
No, I'll admit you hooked me into Snapped and The Biggest Loser.
Yeah, that's good too. That's a very positive and inspiring show.
Well, I'm not sure if it is. I mean, to me, it's like kind of. I just thought it was cruel the way they would make these hugely grotesque fat people like run an obstacle course. Like, let's see some 400-pounder try and jump over the wall.
But they don't jump over walls.
They
There's
can't
usually,
jump.
No, that's what I mean. It's not jumping over walls. They do things that they are capable of. They don't make them do hurdles and things like that until they're ready for it.
Yeah, but I've seen it.
Week by week. The first week, they make you walk a mile. And you see these people can hardly walk a mile, And the next week, they're getting back up and they're walking that mile. And the next week, they're, and then just, well, they actually are just barfing their brains out in the beginning, just getting all the out, But then it's really good because they start to figure out what their blocks are and why they got that way and how I feel so much better. I don't know how to eat. I just didn't realize that eating chocolate cake every morning for breakfast was bad. Like, some people just don't know how to eat right. So I sometimes don't know how to eat right. I love cake. I mean, there are times where I'm like, I'm just going to eat this cake because I love it so much. But I know that I can't always eat cake all the time.
Yeah, but you work out enough and you bartend in gigs. You're basically on your feet for 8 hours. So you can afford to eat cake and.
Sometimes.
And like you do a lot of exercise. We walk the dogs. And,
Yeah.
So.
I think I stay pretty active.
Oh, you got a killer body.
But
still.
I'm not ripped like you are.
Well, I know, but I mean.
I wish I could be more ripped up, but it's tough because I have my little things that I like. I like pasta and I like twice baked potatoes. And I like cake.
And lobster.
I like lobster, but
Sushi.
Lobster's not bad. Sushi's not. Well, sushi's bad if you eat too much of the rice. And the soy sauce makes y'all puffy, too, the next day.
Yeah, but you're a beautiful woman.
Well,
so.
thanks, Earl. You're a beautiful man.
I know, but no, I'm just kidding. So now you in addition to being a comedy person, you bartend as well.
Yes.
And right now, where do you bartend?
I bartend at the Lost and Found on National and Barrington in West LA.
And what nights are you there?
I'm there Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday nights, TTF, 6:30 to 2.
Now, what kind of bar is the Lost and Found? How would you
Okay,
describe
it's
it?
the number one dive bar in LA according to LA Weekly and a whole bunch of others. And when I first started working there, it was kind of like you could tell the spirit of the place. It has a whole bunch of regulars and everything, but it was kind of a little bit run down. There wasn't a lot of love put into it. That's how I feel from people that work there. So I started working there, and what I loved was my boss. He's older and tired, and he's home all the time, so he just kind of lets all the employees run the place. It's kind of like the Comedy Store,
Right.
like just all the insane bartenders run the bar, and all the insane comics run the Comedy Store. So it kind of has that same spirit. But it was quiet. It was kind of quieter when I first started working there, but I saw the greatness in it, and now it's really jamming. That's a long story short. I mean, I could go into the whole thing of how we evolved into this rockin' bar, really because of me.
No, you do. I mean, I've been there, and nothing against the other bartenders,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they aren't as. You have this great bubbly personality, and I think, your stand-up skills help you, deal with the varying
Yeah.
clientele.
Yeah, I think the reason why I still love bartending and it's my survival job, but I really love it, is because I get to be a comic. I get to be put on the spot like constantly, as far as people just jamming you all the time, like blah 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 blah, like where are you from? What do you do? Da 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 da. A lot of crowd work I get out of my system doing that. I know I'm not on stage. I know the lights aren't in my eyes, and I get that, but at least I get little pieces of it here and there. And I get to be a DJ because I play the jukebox all the time. I put $20 in a night, but I usually play stuff that I feel the crowd will dig. It's very important to me to have the music kind of fit the crowd. I hate when people come in and play B-sides of shit that no one's ever heard of before. Like, I guess you and your 4 people in this bar know what you're listening to, but nobody else does. So it gets a little votey sometimes where we're like, get rid of this song. Like, we'll all kind of freak out. It's like, lose the song.
Like when I would come in and play Rat.
Yeah, but I liked it. That didn't matter. Rat is cool. People like Rat, especially the hits.
Yeah.
People from the Lost and Found can tolerate hits or Rat, usually, I think. It's always a different crowd, though. Anyway, I'm just really busy over there, and I make all kinds of exotic drinks because I've been I used to run a bartending school right after college, and I kind of really got into the bartending thing in mixology. And I love fruit a lot, and I've always had a thing with raspberries, so I make all these crazy drinks like jalapeno raspberry margaritas that I muddle with fresh oranges and limes and lemons and cilantro. Really delicious. I puree watermelons every couple of days, and I make watermelon cocktails, and I put watermelon puckers in there just to bring out the flavor of the watermelon. And I'll do that with Bacardi or vodka, and it's really delicious. And I stuff my own olives. I make blue cheese stuffed. I make blue cheese stuffed olives from scratch, and I make olives for my martinis. Normally, when you go to a place and you get a martini, it's like a higher class martini with olives in it. You're going to pay 10 to 14. I only charge 7, but you're not getting any Grey Goose or anything. It's really Stoli Absolute or Smirnoff. So.
What about your world famous mojitos?
My mojitos are rad, and but mojitos are kind of people don't really care about them anymore. Like, now that I make the cucumber mint martini with gin or vodka, and I put my fresh pureed watermelon juice in there too, that kind of, people look at that and they go, what the hell is that? And I kind of got the recipe from this place in Huntington Beach, and I just looked at the menu and I'm like, hey, you know what, that looks good, I'm gonna kind of add things to it and make it better. So I did, and that's the kind of stuff I do at my bar, and I just cater to people. I want everyone to have fun, and I want people to like have $40 in their wallet and still be able to have a couple of great drinks and have fun, and if you're having a good time, then you'll probably go and get more money because you want the good time to extend. But I at least want you to try to have a good time. That's kind of how I feel about my bar. I really have fun with it. So
You're like Coyote Ugly, but like what?
but cooler.
Oh yeah, and only one of you.
Yeah, only one. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, but I'll have sometimes I get slammed and I need help, and like people that hang out there will just jump back, and I'll be like, here are the keys, go get ice, da 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 da. And they know the place so well that they can kind of jump in and help you too. I broke up a fight the other night, which was kind of crazy.
Well, let's get into that because
Okay. I break up fights all the time, but this one was a little nuts.
Well, so you're behind the bar.
No, actually, I had closed the bar and I got everybody out, and I had a couple people stay after, and I couldn't. My hearing isn't that great, so one of the guys that was in the bar with me, he was like, "They're fighting out there. I can hear them. And I'm like, "They'll work it out. As long as it's not inside the bar, I am not responsible. Whatever." It'll probably end. He's like, they're still going at it. And then people started calling me, like Gail. And I'm like, all right, these fuckers, So I went out there, and a bunch of people were like, there's a bunch of, like, kind of fights going on in the street or, like, in the parking lot. And this one guy had this one guy down, but he was like a little dude that used to work at Starbucks. Like, he was just like this little guy. And he was kind of dressed up but like he was kicking this guy while he was down. But remember when Dan Madonia remember that fight that broke out at the Comedy Store and Dan Madonia was punching that guy?
Yeah.
And he was punching him and it didn't even look like he was landing. Like when I punch someone, I punch him. But he looked like he had how did you describe it?
Dan Madonia, very funny comic. Let's just tell that story real fast. Just one night, me, Gail, Don Barris, Dan Madonia, and I think one or two other people were on stage doing this music thing we do. And there was this really drunk audience member. He was actually the only audience member. I think he was from like Norway or Switzerland. He didn't understand the language.
He's an asshole. Not because he was from Norway or Switzerland. He just was an asshole.
He was just drunk or high on ecstasy, and he kept trying to get on the stage with us. And, if you're a non-comic, you're not... the stage is hallowed ground. It's, performers only. And so this guy...
Unless you're invited.
Yeah, unless you got big tits and invited. Usually, most guys will not be invited to get on stage. So this guy kept trying to get on stage. So finally, him and I think Don fell off the stage, and
we're all...
Don was holding him down, and I remember Dan Madonia, a very good friend of mine and Gail's, was punching this guy in the face, like literally 12 to 13 times. And Dan, I love him, but he's like
he had pillows.
He's a pillow puncher.
I remember being in awe because I'm like,
he was hitting him.
He's punching him with pillows. It just looked like nothing was happening. It was like when you hit someone in a dream, It just didn't look like... I'm like, that's your best I don't know. In the moment, it was weird.
If you or I
he's really not trying to hurt that guy. He was almost probably...
Well, I think he was. I think he was trying to hurt him.
That's scary.
But, Dan's not the most physically gifted of people. And I just remember, Dan's hitting this guy in the face. Don's holding him down. Tony Hinchcliffe is kicking him with his little foot.
Oh, yeah. That was hilarious.
And then you kind of get into the mix. And I think you were getting a couple shots. And then
I think I was trying to pull him, whatever he was holding on to, I was trying to get him off of whatever he was holding on to or whoever he was holding on to.
Then I kind of yelled at you to like get the fuck out of there.
Of course.
Then I remember a guy from the Improv, somehow he comes into the room, which is the other comedy club in the city.
Was that Jake? I think
Jake.
Jake.
And Jake like threw him down the stairs. I mean, this guy took a beating.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget at the end of the night, he's like, you guys were great. Like, we literally beat the shit out of this guy. And he was so bombed out from drugs and booze that he loved the show.
Maybe he liked getting beat up. Some people need that, It's like sadomasochism. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Yeah. You
sadist,
enjoy punishment. And
yeah, he's like, I love getting beat up at the con. I love getting my ass kicked at the Comedy Store.
So what were what
All right.
happened at the in the parking lot?
This kid, he was kicking this kid while he was down, but when I was looking at it, because I didn't really drink, I was so busy on Friday night. It was one of the busiest nights ever.
But don't you have a partner?
I have Tim, and he's new at it, but he's pretty decent bar back. But I really, when I need extra help, I don't rely on him. When we're super busy, I just start delegating. I just get people like, here's this, get that, help, and they want to help. They want the place to succeed. And they'll get a couple drinks out of it too, so everybody wins. Just keep the train rolling. So it was one of the busiest nights, and sometimes when you have busy nights, you'll have little things that break out, and usually gets fixed pretty quick, because I don't like violence and I don't like people getting hurt, and I watch a lot of Judge Judy, and I hate court cases, and I don't want to be responsible for anything, so I always try to keep it safe. I want everyone to be safe and happy. But after 2, when I had everybody out, shit broke out outside, and this kid, like I said, was kicking this other kid while he was down. And when I was watching him kick, I'm like, it doesn't even look like he's landing. He looks like a big puss. But I don't like that he's kicking somebody while he's down. That's dirty. And it bothered me. So I figured I'll break this one up first. So I went right over to him, and I pushed him, like, hard. And I threw my arm back, like, I'm going to fucking kill you. Like, I'm going to fucking hit you. And I looked him in the eye. I'm like, knock it the fuck off. Get the fuck out of here. And it was just and he looked me in the eye. I'm like, you're going to hit me? You're going to hit a girl? You know what will happen to you? Like, that was like what I was saying with my mind. And I don't want to use that. I actually kind of wanted to hit him, because hitting someone while they're down, you want to give him one shot, because he deserves it. That's how I feel. Who knows what the guy was doing? That's why I didn't, because I'm like, maybe that guy, pissed in his ear or something. Who knows? You never know what the hell happened to you. But I don't like people kicking people while they're down. So I broke that up. And then, and I swung around to these other guys who were fighting. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. This is a fucking business. Am I saying fuck too much?
No, not at all.
In the heat of the moment, that's the kind of stuff you say. Everyone's like,
It's inappropriate.
yeah. Okay, yeah. So that's good. Inappropriate, Earl. So yeah. So I broke stuff up. But, like, other guys were trying to break stuff up. And I think when guys try to break other fights up with guys, I think it's like putting gasoline on a fire. I think it makes it worse. Testosterone just increases the violence, but you throw a girl in there who kind of...
You're a tough girl.
I'm a tough girl, so I go in there and I just kind of fix it. Because I don't want people getting hurt and stuff.
And where was Tim? Where was Big Tim?
I know. It's always me who breaks stuff up.
Yeah, but Tim is this guy.
He comes up to me when stuff's going down. He's like, Gail, those guys are doing this. And I have to go over to him like, all right, guys.
I think Tim got a DUI while he got a DUI. I mean...
You know what's funny? I don't think that he's ever gotten a DUI. I always thought that he was a DUI person, because I think he takes some, classes or something. But... I don't think he ever got a DUI. It's just some stuff he had to do for some stuff that I probably shouldn't talk about. I don't even know, I don't know what it is.
Right. I have a feeling I know what it is.
Yeah. Tim's cool, though.
Tim's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's cool.
So what
he's
is...
funny.
Well,
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
He's...
he has these great one-liners at the end of the night. He'll say, like, 1 or 2 really super funny things, and I'll be like, oh, that keeps me, like, going,
Right.
See those brilliant lines every now and then. If I had one, I'd share it with you, but I don't, so I'm going to stop talking. Go.
No, I don't want you to stop talking.
Well, not stop talking, but I was going to let you say the next thing.
Well, speaking of lines,
Okay.
what are some of the lines guys use to pick up on you? Because, I mean, I know when I used to go into the bar, I loved sitting at the bar watching these fucking buffoons try and pick up on you, not realizing, like, you were, my lady.
Yeah.
Like, wait, they must have a standard, like, hey.
I get, like, your boyfriend probably doesn't like you working at a bar. That's how they find out if I have a boyfriend. Your boyfriend, which is kind of always irritates me, because they think they're being slick, and it's like, I can already tell that you're trying to see if I have a boyfriend. You should just kind of hang back and maybe come in a few times and talk to me and get to know me before you just start being like, hot girl, boyfriend. Why don't you see if I'm a normal person? Maybe I'm a super bitch. Maybe I'm like, somebody you wouldn't date. You know, why don't you figure that out besides just being like, pretty girl, boyfriend. Does she have a boyfriend? You know what I mean? That's why I get irritated. Don't try to find out if I have a boyfriend yet. Why don't you just try to like get to, I don't really want people, I don't want every guy that is interested in me to try to get to know me, but I know time is limited here on Earth and you just want to find out. But I think the people that are a little bit more patient get ahead more. And that's what I see, just being someone who watches people try to hook up all the time.
Like, what was the one joke you used to do about a guy coming up to you at the supermarket because he looked at what you had, the cat treats?
Oh. Well, a long time ago, I was at the Kmart, actually, in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. And I was buying cat box and cat food and cat treats and cat toys. And this guy behind me, you know, he says to me, he's like, so you got cats? You know, and I was like, no, I just prefer to shit in a box. Yeah.
Hey-o.
Hey-o. It was funny at the time. Yeah. What's that? Is that clapping?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Ooh, that's like, yeah.
So what's going on in the future for G Money? You're running comedy shows again?
I'm only running one comedy show. I used to run a lot of comedy shows. I did Tempest, and we did Backyard Comedy together, which we should try to get back.
Oh, we will.
You know,
we should. What? Backyard Comedy was. Why don't you explain what that was?
Okay. Backyard Comedy is. It was a pilot that Earl and I created. It was kind of like a white trash American Idol for comics, and we showcased the funniest up-and-comers in a backyard in Van Nuys, and it was all kind of cruddy and lawn chairs everywhere, and the grass was overgrown, and we'd have to clip it and make it all kind of, I don't know, we had to like make the backyard look presentable, but it was just like a big backyard party where we invited hundreds of people, and this is where I learned to do individual invites. I would invite everyone I knew individually, like, hey, Samantha, blah, blah, blah. And I would, be like, we're doing this backyard comedy thing. We're showcasing the funniest up-and-comers and creating a pilot. And I don't want anyone to bring any money. I just want someone to bring food or booze, like something to throw on the grill, or bring a bottle, or bring a six-pack of beer, or bring other things that people do. But we had these big parties, and everybody was all about it, and hundreds of people would show up. All the comics from everywhere in L.A. Would show up and see who the grinders were.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah,
I mean,
it really was. And we had 6 tapings, and our main producer died of alcoholism.
What a shock. I never saw that coming.
Yeah, it's
Tom
a shame.
Kennedy,
Tom
rest
Kennedy,
in peace.
Great guy.
Basically, if you saw any movie trailer from the 80s and 90s, Tom cut the trailer for like these huge movies. So we were lucky enough to use Tom's connections at Fox.
Yeah.
So he got like the camera and the lighting and the sound crew from like I think 24 and Prison Break.
Yeah.
Which was a big show at the time. So we shot this TV show that looks fucking amazing. I mean, it probably $20,000 to $30,000 if we had to pay for everything. And knowing how fucking cheap me and Gail were, we'd freak out if we had to pay $50 to the Mexican guy.
We would pay for food. I remember we would always put like about $250, $300 in food and booze just to get things flowing. I used to make a lot of deviled eggs for the party. I used to make like 6 cartons of 18 deviled eggs so that the people could have 6 or 7 eggs at one time. Because the thing with deviled eggs is if you have like 2, when you go to a party, there's like 2 trays of them and they get snarfed up in 2 seconds because they're delicious. And you always feel like you're having too many if you have like 3 or 4. So I would make like hundreds. So that
I know.
Yes, it would stink up the place.
The whole fucking house smelled like an egg factory.
Because I would boil all the eggs like 2 days before, and then, oh, what a pain in the ass. But
But it made that party,
Yeah.
it was a
Showed
labor of love.
That's kind of how I am with things.
Chocolate love.
Chocolate love.
And these parties were crazy. I mean, there was a marijuana room. I mean, this guy, we won't mention our partner's
Yeah, we
name.
probably shouldn't talk about the marijuana room.
Well, it's too late. We just did.
Oh, I guess so. Well, I mean.
Well, no, it's not like we were breaking any
Yeah.
laws. There was, let's just say the laundry room was turned into a medical marijuana facility.
Yeah.
And so people would come there and, like, smoke weed and drink and eat.
That was the coolest thing.
And just, it was like in the shittiest backyard in Van Nuys. And the premise of the show was essentially where do funny people like me and Gail and our friends perform.
If you don't have an agent, if you don't have a manager, where do you go if you're just funny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to go in this environment.
Shithole. No, it's not a shit. It's like
It
kind of
was
a
a
metaphor. It's a
shithole.
metaphor for what we had to go through, and what a lot of comics have to go through when they really, are doing their best and pushing and grinding and going up night after night after night in these awful rooms where nobody's listening and trying to turn the energy around with what you got, just trying to, oh, that joke worked, this joke didn't, but every night you went up, it's hard.
Well, it's a
really,
struggle.
There's nothing harder, I don't think, than getting up on stage every single time.
Oh, there
you
isn't.
know?
I mean, like, if you're in a shitty band, you could turn around and blame the drummer for something.
Yeah.
But, if you're a comic,
Yeah.
if Gail has a bad set or I have a bad set, and I've probably had more bad sets than every comic combined.
Had a lot of good ones, though.
You got that right. It's really done me a lot of good.
It has.
No, it's cool.
When you were saying that I already made it, you said this a while ago, like, I feel like you already made it because you survived out here and everything. I was thinking that, like, you already made it too. I mean, there's so many great things that you do that I don't get to do. Like, just going up in the original room at the Comedy Store, that's always been, like, the scariest stage to me. And you still get up there and you still do it, and they all of them do, but that's a scary stage because it's a lot of comics in the back and some of them are just,
animals.
Yeah, they're rough.
Oh, it's crazy.
And you have to really get real. You really have to pull back the layers and bare your soul up there if you're going to survive. That's how the Comedy Store is.
I mean, I've seen A-level comics bomb in that room.
Yep.
And I almost say there really is no bombing in that room. There's just doing time.
Yeah.
Good or bad.
Yeah.
So, but you've been up there too, though. You've
I
performed at the store a lot,
done
and
I do it.
It's an interesting. I mean, the Comedy Store is like what's best and worst of L.A. comedy.
But it's so great. It's such a great place.
Oh, it's the best,
It's the best. But there are nights when you go up there where you're like, I have to go.
Yeah, I mean,
I just have to not be here, but I'll be back because I love this place.
because it's magical.
Yeah.
The good nights like make you forget about the bad nights.
Absolutely.
And, like I was telling you about the new Tuesday night show there, where two comics roast each other, and it's in the belly room, and it's packed, and it's you can't move, and they have to turn away people, and like Jeff Ross is a judge, and they get celebrity comics to judge, and like Chris D'Elia judged it a couple weeks ago, and it's just an amazing energy. So, and then you go downstairs into the original room, and there's two people in there.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting dynamic there, but I mean, I really meant that when I said 10 years, most people would have. Like, after the first year not getting a sitcom, would have left.
Yeah.
I probably would have. I mean, if I moved to Pennsylvania or New York to do comedy, and I didn't make it in a year or two, I'd come back home, like, on the fucking Concorde so fast.
No, you just keep going.
Oh, yeah.
Keep chipping away, and you find that you have different interests, too, I like this podcast stuff. I have fun with it. I have fun doing podcasts, too.
Well, podcasts are great because you can literally... like there's this program that you can see where the people are listening, and like I went on this site to see where people were listening for my show, and like I had people in Sweden listening, and like Switzerland and Australia, and not that it's going to do you any good.
Like I said, that's making it to me. Having people, I was listening to some spiritual guy.
Gary Zukav?
No, this one was Wayne Dyer, but he was talking about Lao Tzu and how he says, don't try to do anything so big. You just keep going at it small, going out small. And Because if you go big, you're going to disappoint yourself. So just keep chipping away, because everything you do, they're little victories in everything you do.
I agree
you
with
know?
that.
So, just having people in Sweden, like that's, you're chipping away at it. And all the while, you're still being very successful. You're still getting asked to do cool ass shit that nobody else is being asked to do. Just today, I was listening to that song by Sheryl Crow, like, all I want to do is have some fun. And she was talking about, being at a bar, and we all know the song, and drinking at a bar noon on Tuesday, and when the chorus comes on, it's until the sun comes up over Santa Monica Boulevard. And I was like, I was listening to this song waitressing at Villa Capri in Doylestown in college, just kind of chipping away at getting a little degree to make my parents happy and I guess make me happy. But I remember thinking, like, Santa Monica Boulevard, like, what's that, And when I thought about it today, I'm like, I lived on Santa Monica Boulevard for 5.5 years, and I'm like, I made it, and I'm still here, and I'm still doing it. I'm still chipping away. And that feels really good. Just not knowing what the hell Santa Monica Boulevard was, and then you're living there,
Yeah.
and surviving and thriving.
You are thriving.
Yeah.
And, you need what I need, what any unknown performer needs, just that one person of influence who can actually help you.
Yeah.
And, it's like, you and I think.
I know what I really need to do. I just need to focus on what it is I really want to put out there. And it gets divided into different things. Like, sometimes I'm like, I really want my own bar, and I want to run the next comedy club. I want to be the next Mitzi Shore. And also keep doing stand-up, too. I don't know if that's been done, where you run stuff and you're still a stand-up. Or maybe I'm just supposed to be hosting and running stuff and then being funny when I can. Or how can I figure out how to be funny all the time and just do it all the time and want to do it all the time? There was a time when I had the time and I was, working during the day so I could do comedy at night. And I don't really have that same kind of drive to go to open mics all the time and work on material. But there has to be a way for me to get out my creativity and have it be what I want it to be.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I can't wait for a break. I have to make the break happen, and that's pretty, I mean, more who you are as a comic. And I think I know who I am as a comic, but I just need to figure out how I'm going to get it all out there and express it and get excited about it and want to get excited about it. Sometimes I get so tired.
Because you work hard.
I work hard. I'm tired, and then it's like you have to be skinny, and you got to dye your hair, and I want to sleep today, and I want to watch Oprah and Snapped and all my bad TV shows, and I don't want to leave the house. But if I don't leave the house, how am I going to make things? I just have days like that where I'm just home, but not too much. There's always something to do.
Yeah, but what you have going for you is something that even I don't have, and it's you're likable. Like, you've got this smile and this infectious. You're very lucky. A lot of people, I see a lot of comics who are very funny, but they're not likable on stage. Yeah. And, I mean, that's just something you can't teach. I mean, you either, walk on that stage and people, like, jive with you right away, or they don't.
Yeah. Sometimes people don't jive with me, but it's not most of the time I can turn it around. Because that's what I also have to do as a bartender, like, hi, you want people to just kind of kick it,
Oh, yeah.
So you have to have that, like, hey, I think you're very likable on stage.
I mean, I come off, I'm kind of dry and sarcastic, which, might turn off some people.
But it always blends into that. That's just in the beginning, Then you start to get to know the crowd, and you start,
I mean,
people start jamming you, and you just go, what the fuck? And you just go off on them, and then all of a sudden you peel back the layers.
Well, I'm kind of like Johnny I mean, I don't put myself on Johnny Carson's level, but, I think...
You should.
Well, I mean, Johnny Carson was great when he, on The Tonight Show, when he would do a joke that wouldn't work.
Yeah, you're great at that.
Because I do a lot of jokes.
Yeah, you're like a joke machine.
But a lot of my jokes are not that great, so it's...
That's not true.
Well, it is, but it's the recovery I'm good at, you and
Tim Babb are really good. Remember Tim
Babb, very funny,
he
African-American.
was great at when his shit bombed, like, and you're the same way. You just... It's the that's sometimes your bigger laughs have come from that. And then
Oh,
you,
yeah.
You wipe your eye a lot when you
Yeah,
fall.
I have, I like, move my glasses out.
Yeah.
It's like my, Larry the Cable Guy has get her done. You have, yeah. I remember once when you opened up for Rob Schneider and the crowd was like, at the end of your set was going, yeah, with you.
Oh, were they?
So it's at the Improv. So.
Oh, yeah.
But, we're on the right path.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe, we could have a podcast together. Who knows?
It's possible.
Anything's possible. But
if we have people here and we're interviewing them, you have to let me talk sometimes.
Yeah, somehow I think your voice getting heard won't be a problem.
Okay, good.
Which
Then
is why
I
you
do
would
it.
be great on a podcast because you talk a lot.
Yeah, I guess I do.
I mean, I'm not really that good on a podcast because I'm a quiet person. Like, I'm very, subtle, and, I mean, I think you have much more a podcast personality. You ramble a lot, and the way you tell stories is very engaging, which is...
Okay, well,
I
that
think,
works.
yeah, I mean, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, you ask great questions. I remember when we were getting to know each other, I liked the way you interviewed me. I remember you were interviewing me at Tempest, just asking me questions about myself, but it didn't come off in that way where the way guys do it, where they're like, oh, hey, nah. Like, you were just asking me genuine questions and not being too flirty or anything. But every now and then you say real dirty things, and I'd be like, what the fuck? But you have that inside where you got, like, when you think of the dirty stuff, you got to get it out. And I'm like, inappropriate. But I guess that's what you are.
I'm an inappropriate Earl.
Inappropriate Earl.
Well, I was so into you, though, that I had to, I mean, I remember probably one of the most fondest memories I have of you was our first kiss.
Oh.
Because it was at the Liquid Zoo. You were bartending. It was dead in there.
Yeah.
No one was there.
Yeah, except for, like, two guys.
No, I'll never forget, it was that Asian cop, Steve, who was fucking...
Oh.
He was either drunk or he just wouldn't fucking leave. And
Yeah, and he never shut up either. He
was talking more than you.
For an Asian person, too. He just talked a lot,
And I just remember just praying to God, please let this guy go. I got to kiss this girl tonight. I mean, I knew that night was the night that I was going to at least try and kiss you. I didn't even know if you were into me at that moment. So he finally fucking leaves, I don't know, to get some teriyaki bowls or something. And you walked me to my car, and then, you had on these nice little overalls. And
overalls on?
you had your jean overalls on. And I just remember, we started kissing in the middle of the alley. I'll never forget. And I just remember my hands kind of slowly,
But you didn't do anything, which was smart.
you have amazing boobies.
Yeah, well.
And I just remember that first kiss. I'm like, God, I got to feel these things. I gotta feel these fucking
melons.
Melons. It's melon season at the zoo, and I think I stopped abruptly because I think I was just about to feel, and I'm like, I can't do it. I can't.
It would have been too much.
I gotta return some videotapes, and I just left.
Yeah.
And then
that was good though.
Slowly we started hanging, and then our history is. It is what it is, and I think there's more coming. Who knows what it is, but this podcast wasn't that awkward.
No, I think it was pretty good.
And do you have anything you want to plug? You got your Biblos comedy show.
I had 2 shows this week. I did I already did them, but just so you know, I'm doing it.
You did the Warehouse in Marina Del Rey.
I did the Warehouse, and I had my last Biblos show on Wednesday. But the next one, I believe, is March 12th. And what else? I think that's it for right now.
And then people can see you at the Lost and Found.
Oh, yeah, Lost and Found.
Barrington and National, if you're in L.A.
National and Barrington.
Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And go see Gail. She's awesome.
And I'll have more shows and stuff. I book them all the time. There's some weeks where you'll have 1, and another week where you'll have 4. Just
the world of comedy is crazy. So you can follow her on Facebook at facebook.com /Gail Gramlich, right?
I believe so. It's Gail Gramlich maybe dot like it's www.facebook.com/Gail.Gramlich.5. That's the one that isn't like there's one that's just kind of like when we did the BKO stuff a
Right.
lot where I did the keyboard stuff. There's like a picture there. That's the Gail Gramlich, but the other one is Gail.Gramlich.5.
And then
I
on
don't know why.
Twitter,
Yeah, I'm on
follow
Twitter,
her
but I need to write more on it.
just at Gail Gramlich. That's GailGramlich, and go see her at your shows. Come to the bar, Lost and Found, and she'll be back on Inappropriate Earl.
Yeah.
And that is it for another episode of Inappropriate Earl. Gail, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Earl Skakel.
And thank you very much, Gail Gramlich.
Woo!
And follow us on iTunes. Leave a review, too, if you like it. And we're also on SoundCloud. So next week's episode will be, who knows? It's very random how I do this, as you can tell by now. I think the first episode was actually the fourth one, and it's like George Lucas in Star Wars, how he did the first three and then the middle four, and it was the reverse order. So every Monday night on SoundCloud, early Tuesday morning on iTunes, and we'll see you guys out there in the podcast world.